we're back. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Evening.
Yeah.
Are you talking to us?
That's it. I wasn't sure who we were talking to then. I was like, are you talking to us or to Chinese bots?
Yeah, the Chinese bots.
You have to learn that next week in Mandarin.
What, Chinese bots?
No, like, hello, everybody.
I can go. Yeah, maybe I can like set up a Google Translate or something.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Is it not more likely to be Cantonese, the Chinese box?
See, now
It's
we're
getting
getting into more
technical now.
technicalities that I have no idea of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think last week we did the prologue where we were all taken along to a wonderful premiere performance of a play by Charles's friend Talbot Estes, or former friend.
Former friend. Well, no. Technically, we're still friends.
Technically, still
doesn't-
friends.
Yeah. We've not had that conversation yet.
Which was an incredibly enthralling performance. I'm sure you will all agree. That ended in a small riot breaking out inside the theatre, which I believe you all decided to quickly exit from before the police turned up.
Yeah.
And forgoed. I'm not sure which is right. Probably neither. I missed out on the after play party.
Cheese and nibbles.
Yeah.
Well, nobody told me about that.
There were vol-au-vents, mushroom vol-au-vents, cheese on stick.
Yeah.
The pineapple.
It was one of those like
Mini
cheese and
sausage.
pickled onion
Yeah.
hedgehogs.
Hedgehog. Yeah.
I want
And
to
loads
say
of
to that,
stuff in aspic jelly.
Yeah, but it weren't made out of tinfoil because that's not been invented yet.
I'd have needed more than that to stay for after party.
So I don't know. So if you want to refresh us on what else happened post
I went
play.
to the library.
I went to Gerald because Gerald would WD-40 in his shop door, and I said, Gerald, now you've got a coffee. Let's sit down and look at this this script of the book that I've got. It's in French, and
It's very rare.
It's very rare, probably expensive. Only one known copy in existence. Loads of handwritten scribble over it that can tell us what we need to know. And you went, oh yeah, oh, my coffee seems to have made the pages brown.
Browner. I think in future he can't be trusted with drinks around anything what we're trying to read or work out. Drink-free zone.
Yeah,
It's my special skill. It's the only thing I'm good at.
ruining stuff.
I mean, did he spill the drink on it straight away, or did he not translate anything?
No, we said like, oh look, there's a lot of scribbling in the margins, and it's hard to read some of the text because he's sort of written over it. And Joe went, oh no, I can't see it. Oh, it's covered in Nescafe.
It does beg the question if all the books in his shop are just old pages just stuck together with spilt coffee.
Yeah, that's why the look old or not. He's done that school kid trick.
Yeah, they're all brand new.
He's burnt edges on the stove and then tipped coffee on everything.
So what are you telling your director friend? Dog was sick on it, or cat ate it, or other way around, or Gerald spilt his coffee on it?
Well, he's probably lost me some jobs. I mean, I could have been in this play, but he might have lost me a job, so we'll see.
Just don't take it in back.
Well, I
Just
don't.
tell
Well,
him you want to keep it for a bit because it's so interesting.
well, we didn't agree on a date to take it back.
You
just
didn't.
Said,
You didn't. That's
he
true.
said he sort of said you can take it and then read it, and he didn't really say he needs it back urgently or anything
No.
like that. So
Fake a burglary.
might have to.
Yeah,
he had it stolen.
it did stress that it did want it back, but yeah, it didn't put any kind of pressure on you when to return it.
Maybe if you put it over at radiator, it'll dry out. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Surely it's only like a double page that's damaged.
I mean, if we wash it under tap, This could wash coffee off, or Gerald could suck the pages dry.
I've basically read.
Could I maybe with the library use how to fix a book?
To fix a book.
Get air dryer on it.
That'd come under operate heavy machinery, though. I'm not very good at that.
How big is your hairdryer?
Set a fire to it. Just put it over the fire. And just
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. What was the roll? Was it? I think it was 100, wasn't it? Or just it was a complete and utter fumble, weren't it?
99 or 100, I think.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Right. Yeah. So
And that was
Yeah,
on a
I-
push.
Yeah,
wasn't
because I pushed it.
it?
yeah.
Because I tried to decipher it. I failed, and I pushed it, and then I failed. So we got a catastrophic.
So I guess in Gerald's defence, it was
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, it was indirectly your fault.
No, it was Gerald's fault. He's ruined the book. He's ruined my career. He's ruined my life.
So that book
Deliberately.
was the original, wasn't it, in French?
It was
Yeah.
one of the originals. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I think I'd found a copy of something or other in my bookshop. One of them. One of the other.
plays he
by
had.
the same guy.
Was it one of one of Talbot Estes' prior works? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a few.
Stuff
There was, what was it now? I think there was his first one was The Grey Lady from
I
1905.
think it was the first one.
No, it weren't that
I've got.
one. No.
Oh, wasn't it Evil
No.
Root?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
most
that's the one.
recent one.
Yeah.
About the daughter, eldest daughter of a archaeologist who was possessed by the spirit of an Egyptian princess.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
That sounds so much more interesting than that play what we had to sit through.
Yeah.
I spilled some ketchup on that one though.
Yeah. I apologise for the free tickets.
But not to worry, because I read the English translation in the
You did.
library.
Yeah. After all that, putting that that
Can
incredibly
you tell
rare
us what
book
happened then?
at risk.
No, not really.
Oh, so you've got the English translation.
The only problem is that book, what you've ruined, might have had some good stuff in it, which I won't have got in the translation.
Yeah.
So that's end of adventure. So, what does my reading in the library give me? Because it was going to take a week, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh, I actually got it here.
It's only 30 pages, but you do.
Yeah,
need to use
in
your finger.
English. It's a printed book in English.
It
but
is.
It's going to take me a week to read it for some reason.
So
20-point font.
I'm a slow reader.
Yeah. So study
A
time. Study
is
time
for
is
apple.
Study time is a week to like fully absorb it, to understand it.
I did get some Cassilda mythos, didn't I? I believe
You did, but you've taken it as an unbeliever, haven't you? Although I was reading
still
about
get I get the Cthulhu mythos though,
You
don't
do.
I?
You get the knowledge, but you don't believe it. So
It's
like
fairy tales.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was reading up on this earlier, and strangely, the King in Yellow book is an exception to the rule in that it's something about the text impresses upon you how that it is real. But I think we'll go with the previous thing that yeah.
I'm a man of science. I know it's not real.
So you gain some. So, and I did find the mythos rate. I'll put it into the book into your.
But it's not going to be any good to me though, because I'm not going to have. I'd have to go back to the library.
Yeah, this is true.
So I suppose I could if it's something that we really need help on. But
yeah, so you can use it as for research. I think it's got a mythos rating of 15.
I could give Charles a job. I could pay him to go into the library and steal the book.
I'm an actor, not a thief.
Yeah, you use your acting to somehow worm your way in there and stick.
But-
Use your acting to pretend you can read.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, but what you forget is we had this discussion last week that my acting actually comes in dancing.
Okay.
So what I can
you-
do is I
you
can hold
d-
the book and I can pirouette.
You distract them with your dance.
Yeah,
I
that's the
steal.
cat. So when guards try and catch and dive for my legs, I can like jump and twirl and pirouette away. I'll
What we
teach
could
them.
do, Gerald could go in and have a look at the book himself, and we could take in a book, get a plain book that is nearly
Looks the same.
identical to and switch them
We could just say the writing came off the pages.
off the page into my mind.
Yeah, look, it's turned into English, and we swap it with
Oh,
that book you found at
Yeah, I
library.
could take a big book in that's like got the pages hollowed out to slip the book inside of.
Do I have to sign for it then when I read it every time I go in?
Go
would
stamp your
presume-
card.
Yeah, you've got
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, is it restricted?
Yeah, it's in restricted section. Yeah.
Oh.
Am I able to see who's looked at it before? Can I use like credit rating to try and have a
I
nose
no,
at
I don't
it?
suppose you. I don't think you need to use credit rating. I suppose you
You
could.
just need to do the whole.
While
look
I'm
up the
signing
page
it,
when
I
you're
just have
signing.
Yeah,
have
you
a
could.
look.
Yeah, I suppose you could have a nosy.
Anybody recent? Or we're talking like years.
Let me have a little think a minute. So while
Go
I'm
on,
having a think, is there anything else anybody's want to do? Of course. Oh well, I'll not bring that up at the moment because that's going to distract from what we're on this.
The letter.
The letter, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So, yes, actually, somebody has. Another member of the cast of the play.
Who might that be?
Jean Hewitt.
Do we still have all the gubbins? What role was she?
Jean Hewitt was playing the role of Camilla, one of Cassilda's daughters, one of Queen Cassilda's daughters.
One of the younger actresses.
Yes, one of the younger ones.
Where do I find the notes? Journal entries. Is that it?
Yeah, it should be. Let me have a look.
Book one. No, book one, The Madman.
It should be in prologue.
No.
Handouts, prologue.
No.
Right. So yeah, no. Let me give the. I've added permissions to the.
It don't matter. 'Cause I was just going to look up what it was in the play, but you've told me. So, and how
There you
long ago
go.
was that? How
long ago was that? That was maybe a month. No more than a month ago.
And what did you say she was called? Jean
Hewitt. Yeah, the playbills are in the handouts of the journal now.
Maybe that's something for Charles to go and.
In fact, I shall put. I shall put the other things as well. So there's the yellow sign. There's Cassilda's song in the journal, and also the different versions of scene 3 of Act 1. Now, hopefully, I'll get these in the right order that I gave them to you. Probably not, but I hopefully I will. So I'm going to guess that was yours, John. So is.
I've still got mine.
Have you?
Yeah, because I copied and pasted it.
Right. Do you know what it started with? What the first line was?
The Queen greets the white masked stranger.
So Cassilda's song. Did we all hear that?
Yes. Yes. Let me try. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I must have done them in reverse. That's useful. So that one is. That's yours, Observer. Yep. And I'm going to say this one is Andy's or Charles's. And finally, this one will be Harry's. So yeah, you've got access to your 3 different versions. I'm not sure if you actually well, I'm not sure how
No.
fully you were aware of that each of you had experienced a slightly different version of it, and you certainly haven't discussed it between you. I know that much.
Well, mine involved that guy being sick at the back, and nobody else seemed to hear him shout out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether they
And
they were too engrossed with the
arguing.
play. You were engrossed with the play, obviously.
I was just tutting at the people in front of me talking.
Were they actually like proper arguing?
Yeah, about it being rubbish, and then they walked out.
Like us. And what was Andy's? What was Charles? Charles, what was your thing? Or were you watching the play?
Mine were about the play. Have you sent
Well,
it,
mine
Phil?
was kind of about the play, but it ended with somebody heckling from the back. I think I can't remember.
I can't remember.
And then he was covered in vomit, which was nice.
Oh, and
Good
then
night out, that.
then there was the final line of the play. I think so. I'll make that available so everybody can see it, but I think only a couple of you actually heard it. So that pretty much covers that. So that was So Gene Hewitt was, but before that it's years.
So I'll give that information to Charles when I see him. I presume we're going to have a get together, or we'll have a meet up somewhere, and you're going to tell me your progress, how you've read the original. You've done a good job of translating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all this was going on after you. Of course, you. The other thing that happened, of course, was you received that Harry received that letter from Doctor Charles Highsmith. Which I don't know if you want to recap that.
Does
You received that 2 days after you'd all been to see the play. It's now about a week later. It's the 26th.
I mean, it's got nothing to do with them two, has it? That's more my job.
It is, yes. It's to do with your job, yeah.
But I'll have them tag along because it does say I can bring colleagues. Maybe that's when we. How many days have we got before that needs to happen?
So it is the 26th, which is a time that you've so far spent destroying Estes' book and studying the library and doing whatever else. Excuse me.
And when's this guy coming?
He is going to be visiting London, and he will be available at the Great Western Hotel on the 28th, I believe.
All right. So we've got like a day or two to meet up.
I mean, shall I? Sorry.
Yeah, and then I'll mention that I've got this meeting with somebody if they want to tag along, if they're bored.
So shall I read out this letter, because it's if for the benefit of those in communist China.
Yeah.
Where are we? That's not the letter. There it is. The letter from Dr. Highsmith. So the return sender's address is St. Agnes's Asylum for the Deranged, near Wobley, Herefordshire. It's dated Friday the 18th of October 1928, so it was incredibly swift postal service. Dear Sir, I apologise for this unsolicited correspondence, but pray that you will do me the favour of reading it through and considering its request. This letter comes to you as the author of the paper Basic Anxiety and Ontological Insecurity, which, if I may say so, I much admired, particularly your analysis of the work of Dr. Karen Horney. I am consulting doctor at St. Agnes's Asylum in Herefordshire, and I am seeking an expert opinion on how to proceed in the matter of an inmate's case. If I may prevail upon you, these are an outline of the facts. Patient W is a young man from a good line who, holding no employ, spent much of his time before his admission in private study. In the autumn of 1926, a terrible incident occurred and W's father and sister were left murdered. W, much troubled, was committed to this asylum shortly thereafter upon the application of his brother and the diagnosis of the family physician. W is suffering from extended bouts of scotophobia, which is fear of the night.
Scottish people.
Extended bouts of scotophobia that give him temporary but intense anxiety. This has proved treatable with medication, and I am of the happy opinion that I may recommend his release when his period of mandatory confinement comes to an end this November. Here the problem arises. W's brother has been urging me to recommend his continued residence. I am surprised at our playing opposite roles in this not uncommon disagreement, and I find the stance of the family unusually rigid. I am currently at a loss to understand a motive. I am hopeful that you will consent to an interview with me on this matter. Again, I regret this communication without our previous introduction, but my closest colleagues have not the patience for psychoanalytics that I believe to be the way to examine such cases. There are some unusual aspects here, and perhaps this might be an interesting study for you. I shall be visiting London for a few days beginning the 28th of October. I shall be staying at the Great Western Hotel. Please contact me there should you be willing to meet. You are, of course, very welcome to bring a colleague or assistant should you so wish. Your obliged and obedient servant, Charles Highsmith.
No, I'm not going to bother with that.
And so you live out a dull and boring life and live happily ever after.
Yeah,
There we go.
we
The end.
carry on living. Yeah. We win.
There we go, Dave.
Ah.
Managed to conclude this one without any mythos interaction either.
Hey!
Well, I've got the Cassilda mythos, but I just don't believe
Yeah.
it. Poppycock.
Poppycock.
So
yeah, it is the 26th at the moment.
So where are we going to meet up? Where have we arranged to meet up? The bookshop seems a good
Yeah,
place.
it's a good shop. It's a good shop. It's a good place to meet. We can ruin some of Gerald's books.
Gerald makes a good pot of coffee. So
Yeah.
I'll go over there and have
With a good dose, a few snips of
have some
whiskey in it.
coffee.
You don't drink it, you just wear it.
I always make 2 cups. One for me, one for anything around me.
One for everybody else.
Yeah.
water the books.
Yeah.
So, what time of day are you meeting at? What is your
That's,
bookshop called anyway? Or is it Black Books?
Black books,
Brown books.
Yeah, coffee books.
brown
Coffee
books,
stains.
slightly beige books.
Coffee
Stained
and books.
books.
Yeah. Book and a brew, all in one.
Were originally black, but now slightly brown and crusty books.
Maybe I'll bring some sandwiches for lunch, some decent quality food because they're both probably hungry at lunch.
So yeah, so about
The
lunchtime.
actor
then.
will be there, no doubt.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'll
It is,
Always turns up when there's food about.
I can smell it.
It is designer swimwear, the only bit of clothing he's got.
Yeah. It's the fashion. It's 1920s fashion. With me codpiece.
It looks more like circus. Circus.
It's
wear.
ballet.
Yeah, it's ballet.
So
Yeah, I will go to the shop at lunchtime. I mean, he's not gonna have any customers, is he, sir?
Let's.
Well, that's
Try
where
and
the rush.
discourage them wherever possible.
It's got close sign up.
That's where the rush is. It's the peak time.
Yeah.
So, are we saying that I've taken a full translation? Well, not translation. I've read
Translated
the books.
from the English into
Yeah.
English.
So I can tell them what I've read, even though I don't know what I've read.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's not a lot to tell really. I mean, it's essentially.
Bobbins.
How many out of 10?
Well, probably.
Is it better than the play itself?
No.
It is the play.
Yeah, no, but is it a better read than a watch?
It's a more complete. It appears to be a more complete one. Reading through it, Talbot has obviously made his own edit of the work, but it's not. It's quite dull, to be honest. It's dull and a bit hard to
We know
follow.
that.
It kind of sort of
Oh,
really
really?
surreal and
The play was
chops,
riveting.
sort of chops about quite a bit of jumps from scene to scene where there's quite a bit of disconnect, but it's just there's no one bit of it that's like shocking or anything that would give it that would seem to give it its reputation, but that reading it just gives this overall growing sense of unease and unrest, and it leaves you feeling anxious.
When you read it, does it actually like make sense as what it's saying and what the story is? Or...
So probably more so than Talbot's play. So it is essentially there's this kingdom called Yatil that's ruled by Queen Cassilda and the family. It takes place almost exclusively in the palace in this city or country. It's not really clear. It's called Yatil, and there seem to be, or is it Yatil? I'm not entirely sure. But there seem to be this long ongoing conflict with this other country or city that's been going on for years, and that's kind of going off in the background. But then there's also this this continued debate about succession between Cassilda's children, who's going to ascend to the throne, but she's always putting it off and don't want to talk about it. So there's all this like sort of kind of a dull version of Game of Thrones going off.
It's like Game of Thrones, but without the dragons and the stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, there's this ongoing conflict going on in the background, and the city's kind of really isolated. And then the big thing that happens is this stranger turns up in the city, and he wears this mask, and he comes and he speaks to the gains an audience with the Queen. And there's some talk and some like a more political intrigue going off, and there's kind of at some point they become like hostile. It becomes like kind of a hostile relationship, and then the Queen's trying to negotiate a treaty with this person who she thinks is some kind of envoy, and then to the point that she proposes a marriage of convenience. And then there's the sort of highlight. It all builds up to this big masquerade ball, basically. And during this ball, there's a masked the height of the ball. They all have to remove the masks, and this masked stranger doesn't remove his mask because he's not actually wearing a mask. He's wearing the pallid mask, and he's some kind of herald for this king in yellow. This figure that turns up, who seems to be a king from this other land, this other like dreamlike world land that they mentioned, this Carcosa, that has been seen as it's almost like seen as a mirage on an evening. Seen as a mirage sort of floating above the lake, the big lake that sits below the palace, and it's kind of an optical illusion. The towers of this city, this Carcosa, they appear to like go behind the moon. So this all it's just all really, and basically so the King in Yellow is the king of Carcosa, and he comes and he imposes his will upon this Queen Cassilda and her people, and they must all wear the mask and bow down to the yellow sign, or something to that effect. It's all very sort of, like I say, it's all very vague, a bit disjointed, a bit surreal. It's not really. It's hard to get a full sense of the thing, but like I said, there's nothing really shocking or risque about it. As a whole, after reading it, there's just this feeling of uncomfortable feeling. I almost feel makes you skin crawl, and this feeling of anxiety and built up unreleased tension.
It's even worse when you have to sit through a play version. Of it.
Yeah.
You were glad when someone was sick
bad
on the
play,
cells.
is that
That
right?
was entertaining bit.
Yeah. So I just tell you all that.
Yeah. So
We need coffee to stay awake.
So whether at this point
In the face.
whether at this point you relate, it comes to like the different versions of that one scene you all experienced. It's up to you whether that comes to light or not.
I presume they didn't hear what I heard.
Yeah, so you know certain things, like you realise certain things like they didn't experience some things, but yeah. So like I say, it's up to you whether you relate, whether you think it.
I don't think we would. I don't, unless we like going back.
Unless
want to
it
forget
came up with something else happening.
Yeah, I mean that means talking about something we really want to forget.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even remember what I saw. So, but what I want to know is, I think we researched because it caused riots in France, didn't it? It was banned.
Yes.
Did Gerald find that out? How did we find that out?
So
I thought we knew that before we went to play because
is that we did we.
Yeah, I think we'd all heard about this.
We'd heard about it.
It was the only reason we went. Was it might be interesting? I think.
Oh, I thought it's because Charles said it was going to be good.
Well, yeah.
I just said it's free tickets.
And it was free. You missed a trick there. You could have charged us.
So,
Damn it.
I think free tickets and there's going to be free booze and food.
And I wanted a refund.
You'd have wanted your money back, and I'd have already spent it.
But yeah, there's stuff about the book. I'm not. Either one or more of you found that out by looking into the book. So
is it? And when was the play written? Was it French French Revolution?
Well, the English version, the English translation was written in around 1895.
But when was the original?
Around the time of the Third French Republic, which is, I think, not too far along with that. When was the? I did look at this.
Well, Napoleon was out in 1815, but he had a son who had a son, and they were called Napoleon.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's only about 20. It's only about 20 years before that. It's only about 20. So the birth of the Third Republic was about around 1870. So the English translation wasn't was done. Well, it will have been done at some point before there were all the original copies were destroyed. So.
And the guy that wrote it, I'm presuming he's dead.
So it was according to research, it was supposedly written. The original French version was supposedly written by somebody called Thomas de Castegane, but nobody knows anything about him. It's just this.
It could be alive, but it'd be like if he wrote it when he was 20, it'd be 70. So it could be like 70, 80.
Yeah,
could still be alive.
And nobody knows who wrote the English translation.
Someone had a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah.
So
supposedly all copies of the original French version were seized by the French government, the Third Republic, almost immediately after publication, and they were destroyed.
Best thing for it. So I will then say I've wasted a week of my life reading this book in the library. It had the symbol on the book that I read, didn't
It
it?
has,
in
yeah.
library?
So it is the one you've got, or one in the English, English
So
British Museum
that was
Library.
that was the thing that was on the guy's gown, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes.
So I'll tell them that, and it made me feel a little bit uneasy when I looked at the symbol, and I did take a note that somebody had been looking at the book about a month ago, and it's one of the actresses, Jean Hewitt. Do you know her, Charles? Apart from by sight.
Do I know Jean?
Do you know? I'll let you decide.
Yeah, I do then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite well. I'm quite well in there.
I mean, it's probably not suspicious. She's probably just reading up on a part, like a good
Well,
actor
yeah.
would.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's how old is Charles again?
He is 38. Yeah, 38.
Oh, wow. He's good past his peak then, hasn't he? I think he's old. He's older than anybody else that were in that play, almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why he can't get a job.
So Jean is quite young. She's quite. She's only about 21.
She's next.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
We had a fl-
okay in that day and age.
we had
for
a flag.
big age gap.
Yeah.
You got her first part.
Yeah. It weren't in a play either.
Oh, so I don't know. What do you think? Do you think is it worth going to talk to her? I don't.
What do you
Why?
think we should all go?
Yes, but I'm struggling to. Why?
What are we going to get out of it?
What we're going to get?
What we're going to get out of her?
Yeah, what's the reasoning? I just presume she's reading up on the part. I've read the book. How many times did she go and read the book? Did she do like a full week, like I've done, or she just like had a look at it, maybe, like for a day or an hour?
I would say she maybe two, maybe 3 occasions.
Oh, so she did try and read it then. That's quite good for an actress.
But if she's not had a copy of the script before and just had somebody ask her, "Do you want to be in this?" You'd check it out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, obviously you wouldn't. You'd just go,
No,
"Yes,
no. I'd be like,
give me the job."
Yes.
And
Anything.
I'll do it.
I'll play the table lamp.
So
is there a job going for a table lamp?
You like to challenge yourself, I know.
I'm versatile, Gerald. Versatile.
The copy what you borrowed off your ex-friend.
Yeah. No, he's still a friend.
Currently.
Who? I presume you'll tell us there was another chap at his house.
Yeah, I've told you there were another man at his house.
Who was the other man?
It was. Let me just jog my memory.
Did they share the house together?
Yeah, it was.
Yes,
Michael
they do.
Gillen is Estes' longtime friend and publisher.
How old are they? Of a similar age?
No, I thought you were a lot older.
Yeah, he's quite a bit. Well, maybe about 10 years older.
Yeah.
Neither of them are married, and they share the house.
Yeah.
Just friends.
Just close, very close friends.
A common arrangement in this time
Confirmed
period.
bachelor,
Oh,
I think.
yes.
Go on, send the police round. Well, they are actors, though, aren't they? So,
Well, no, he's a publisher.
publisher.
Yes, he was a writer originally. Yeah.
Do we know what books he's written?
Who? Talbot.
His man friend.
Oh no, he's Manfred. No, he doesn't
Yes.
write. He's a
He
publicist.
just publishes.
Oh, he's a publisher.
Mm.
So he's going to be rather upset when you return that soggy mess.
Well, I mean, it maybe, probably.
Could I? Because he's not going to, check it. Could I? The cover's going to be okay. Could I remove the cover and put the cover on a different book?
I mean, he's wrote in the book.
Wreck it even more.
He's put his own writings and his own notes scribbled all the way through the book.
Yeah,
So even if he thumbed it, he'd see that it's.
Don't you
Fair
have
point.
any any skill in like repairing books? And
You would have thought so.
Removing coffee.
As a bookseller, I must have at least some basic.
like rebinding
repair.
it, or
Yeah.
caring for a book, even cleaning
You
it.
know, cleaning the worst of it off with isopropyl alcohol.
I mean, you could, I suppose you could make
I think
some
you should at
attempt.
least
Stabbing
try.
at it with a damp cloth.
I think you should try.
White wine. If you pour white wine all over it.
No, is it red wine?
I thought it
Vinegar?
was no.
We'll try red first, and then
Is it not?
I think
we
it's-
drink
I
off.
think it's white vinegar.
Is
and
it not
salt.
fire? Fire will get it off.
Fire cleanses everything.
Yeah.
How do you read invisible ink as well? Is it lemon juice?
Lemon
or is
juice.
No, so you
Oh, is
use
it
lemon
milk?
juice.
Lemon juice.
a bit
No,
of
you
milk?
use
on
lemon
milk.
juice
Lemon juice.
and then heat it up so
Yeah.
you can see it
Fire. Tell you
over
fire.
a candle.
Fire. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could make some attempt to
Shall I
clean it
just-
up a bit. I mean, it's they all, you know.
Shall I just make a roll, get 100, and then you can tell us?
And then when you've cocked it up more,
at the moment, it's the entire book is not completely destroyed. It's just it's a rare book. It's damaged. It's pretty much made it next to worthless, and it's
put it in
the
bath and
pages
give it a
that are
scrub.
damaged probably unreadable.
while this is happening,
Oh my
I'm gonna go into a different.
A different country.
I don't know what skill that was I just rolled against, but
But I don't think it really matters, does it? So at least it wasn't
Probably
fumbled.
doesn't
So
matter.
no. So
What's
yeah,
your library use?
Spend some luck.
65.
Oh. Can you spend some luck?
Spend
Not
all
that
your
much.
luck.
Can
That
you
would
push
be
it?
like all my luck. I'm
Can
not
you-
the world's luckiest man.
Can you push it?
Really?
Push it.
Amazingly, can I push it?
real hard.
I'll go and run a bath. So
Yeah.
pretty much.
I'm stoking the fire.
I could
Um,
definitely push it.
Push it.
Do you have any appraised value?
I do.
It's 0.
What was it worth before you destroyed it?
Many hundreds.
Can I have an appraise
Oh yeah, why not?
of
Why
what it
not?
Oh.
was worth,
It was
And now-
priceless, and it now
What
is.
Yeah.
what it is worth?
It's not worth anything.
1920, £1 million in
Oh, wow.
1920s.
Wow.
Oh, that was dodgering on a 90. But,
Well, let's see.
So this is
I
how
don't
much
know all the
Charles is gonna
prices
be in debt.
because of the.
has the coffee made it more valuable?
It has not. It has reduced its value. With your, I mean, that's one thing you are good at. You do know your book, so you know that the damage
Definitely a book.
that has occurred to it has probably made it next to worthless.
Well, we all do. I mean,
Certainly a
it
fraction
didn't
of
take
its
an
original
appraisal
price.
for that.
I can't remember what the conversions rate from 19. But I will, off the top of my head, rough guess, I will say it's it probably go for about $100 if it was intact.
Many single cents.
£100 maybe. £100, that's ridiculous. But I can't. That's just totally off the top of my head because I can't remember what the conversion rate between 1920 and modern day. So that might be ridiculously expensive. But then again, it is a very rare book. So yeah, why not? It's a
Is your-
lot.
Is your apartment insured, Charles?
Is Gerald's bookshop insured?
Yes. You're not doing so well with the books.
I'm doing-
Have you got is your shop insured for the stock? You can have a little
Can we have a little
fire.
accident? Nighttime smoking accident.
Unfortunately, it's not insured against nighttime smoking accidents.
Well, are you sure?
What about spillages?
I'm willing to try.
No,
Damn,
after like
damn.
the 57th claim, they turned
Oh,
it
they
down.
don't want to know, do they?
What about mold?
Mold. Oh god, 43.63 times. So £1 in 1920 is equivalent of
43.
£43.63 pence.
Okay,
So wow, that would be that.
that's a lot. That's an oh dear.
It's
I don't.
yeah. £100 is maybe a bit more than it would be.
I don't think the shop's going to cover it.
Well, say $100, because we're in Britain, but as money's in dollars anyway, isn't it?
Oh, mind you. Yeah, no, I'll stick with 100. I mean, 4,300. It's a rare book.
It's
So
not a lot.
Well, it was a rare book.
Was.
Yeah.
It's now become unrare.
well, it's in one sense. I suppose it's even rarer.
It is now. It's ruined.
It's,
a rare ruined book.
It's
Maybe
a one
read
of a
it.
kind. That's for sure.
I mean, it will probably filter coffee.
Maybe what we need to do is to see if we can track down another copy.
Oh, that's on you.
I mean, I can put some feelers out.
Just don't
How
take
much-
it back and just wait
How
for
much?
him.
How much money have you got?
I
I will put some feelers out with my contacts.
I've
that
got
I'm interested in a copy of this book,
$1,650.
and if we can delay giving it back, by the time all the dust is settled with
He'll not want it back
this
at end.
adventure,
It's gonna
then
know.
maybe I will have found a replacement
It had
copy.
Maybe.
It had his own handwriting.
It
It'd
did.
written
This
in the
is a
margins and
slight
stuff.
flaw.
You
Was
can't-
I'm quite good at
attempt to forge his
art of,
handwriting as well.
Yeah, but you don't. But
You'll be copying the coffee-stained handwriting. It's not
I've-
going to work.
I've had my fingers burnt before doing stuff with books.
It's certainly an interesting long-term project.
Yeah,
Um,
and I do need to practice my forgery because been a while.
For when passports come out.
Yeah.
so apart from going and seeing the actress, I don't know what much else we can do. I'll tell them about the letter I've had from this psychiatrist.
Uh-huh.
If they're at a loose end, do they want to join me?
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of thinking that maybe the guy the letter doesn't really say, but maybe that the chap might have killed his parents, and that's why the other brother doesn't want him released. Or the other brother killed the parents and had his other brother locked
Committed.
up, or he saw it happen maybe.
So which one do we go see?
He's coming. It's the psychiatrist
sorry,
that's
he's coming.
He's
When's he
coming
coming?
to a
Yeah.
hotel. 2 days
So
time.
2 days, 28th, yeah.
Free lunch, Charles.
Yeah, I'm in.
I am a bit of an amateur psychologist myself.
Really? Is this from one of your weekly periodicals or something like that? You've
Yeah,
signed
well,
up
yeah, I signed up for it. That piqued my interest. So
so you've not actually started it yet.
Well, no, I'm only up to episode 57 of the part work, so I've still got another 527 to go. A very reasonable, £1 per week.
Is it one of these D'Agostini ones?
Yeah.
Do you get a model with it?
Yeah.
You get
No, I get pages of individual court cases that build up into a nice folder.
Yeah.
Do I get all my psychology books from Gerald?
Probably not.
Do they all come with
Probably
coffee? Free coffee.
Discounted. We got a free coffee stain.
They all come with some type of stain.
I sell in my second-hand ones.
Yeah. He loves books.
I do love books. Special stains.
Oh dear. So what is it that you're going to do? Are you we can let the days the next couple of days fly by, and you can just keep your appointment with Doctor Highsmith.
Yeah.
Was there any fallout from the police turning up? Arrests. And
have we seen anything in papers?
So yeah, there was probably a small piece in some of the papers saying that there was a.
Did you not say the play was banned?
Yes. So
everywhere?
But yeah, I think we actually already mentioned there was something in the papers. Yeah, so there would have been stories in the papers. Just a little small piece saying there was a disturbance. A few people were detained, and the owners of the Scala Theatre, I would pronounce it, they banned Talbot from any more performances of the play.
I mean, that just seems reasonable anyway because of shit.
I'll keep an eye out in the press of any mention of any of the actors or actresses to see if anything like happens to them in the next, in the next couple of days, if they've appeared in the press for any reason.
Okay. Okay.
If they've gone mad, that's what I'm thinking. Especially the woman that was reading the book. We'll probably look for her name if she pops up anywhere.
Okay.
Do we know? I know some of the people who are in the play anyway, don't I?
Yeah. So you'll have had probably
dealings with them or coming at auditions. Or
you'll know them in passing. Some at least you'll know them all in passing. Some of them you might know a bit better. For instance, like Jean Hewitt, maybe you know her a bit better than the others in a course. But it's mainly Talbot Estes.
How about?
Is it worth seeing a couple of them before?
Maybe give them a ring just to see if they're going to redo the play anywhere else, or if.
I was thinking more about, did they notice any
strange happening?
What were their take on it? Why did they do it?
And what about rehearsals? Did anything strange in rehearsals?
Yeah. So would I be able to know where any of these live without going?
Well, other than that last that you know.
Yeah, Jean.
Yeah. Maybe that is worth asking her that.
Maybe it's Yeah. I'll go see Jean.
Yeah. So you know where Jean lives. She lives
Yeah.
in a rented.
Is Harry or Gerald tagging along?
I suppose we all can go if you want.
She's 21.
My granddaughter.
3 men turning up. Yeah. So yeah, she lives in a sort of flat apartment in a cheap area of London.
So give her a knock.
So Charles, you know she's very talented as an actress. She's probably, out of all the cast members, she's probably the one that's actually got real chance of
Talent.
actually going somewhere. She's got real. I mean, some of most, particularly female cast members are fairly decent actors, but Jean in particular is a step above everybody else. She's also a good she's also a reasonably good dancer, which is maybe that's where you
I taught her all she knows.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a female version of you, but 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the
younger, prettier, and more talented.
You kind of cross paths.
Yeah. So her act. Yeah. If anybody you know, then she is most likely to become like a real star. Her acting is that good.
Yeah. This is why I want to hold on. This is why I want to hold on to her.
But she's not only that. She's decent dancer. She's a good pianist. She can sing. She's a good singer as well.
Jesus Christ!
All right, clever.
All right. No one likes to show off,
but she's just not met. She's not met the right people.
She has today.
Estes is probably wasn't the
She's about to.
A route to stardom. But
What
anyway,
do you know about books and coffee, Gene?
So yeah, you turn up at her place. She's perhaps a little bit surprised to see three men at her door. it takes a moment, and till she recognises you. Charles, isn't it? Charles.
It is, Jean. It is.
Right, she kind of peers through. She's got the door only like partially open. She kind of looks at you and then looks at Harry and Gerald and.
I tell you, it's all right. There's no murdering going off today.
She kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh."
I'm joking.
Foot in door.
Yeah. We just come to chat to you about the play the other day and your
Oh,
part in
It
it.
was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it?
Yeah. Can we? Do you mind if we come in?
Yes.
She like seems to think and shrugs. I suppose so.
Good.
Right. It's kind of it's nice and tidy, but it's essentially a bed sit.
Yeah. So, Jean, how's everything going?
Well, I'm looking for work. I've got an audition for a singing job, but at a
Excellent.
bar, but it's not exactly what I had in mind.
Your time will come. Your star's on the up.
Well,
You know, from
that's what people keep telling me.
Yeah, I'll put
That's
the
what you
feelers
kept
out.
telling me.
Hey, Gene, we all know where that led. You know, we all know where this is going. It's big
Yes, well,
things.
I think that's better
Big.
left where it was.
Maybe not.
What is it I can do? What is it you want, Charles?
We just want to have a chat to you about the play the other day. What your thoughts on it? Why you took the job? How you thought it went?
Well, like I say, it was standards were pretty low. I mean, Estes' work is a bit. I do quite enjoy his some of his the novels he's written, but I'm not too convinced of his skills as a director or a playwright.
I would agree. He's very contemporary.
Yes, his heart's certainly in it. I mean, he's possibly borderline obsessive with his attention to detail and attempting to trying to get the most out of his cast.
In what way?
Well, you've worked. Well, you know Estes.
Yeah. I'd just like to take your opinion on it.
Well, it was a strict schedule. We ran through the play quite a lot of times, a number of times before, and we did lots of readings prior to any dress rehearsals. To be honest, I find the subject matter. I found the play a bit. I don't know. It gave me nightmares, to be honest.
Did you understand the play?
Only in the vaguest sense. So, to be honest, I didn't really think much of the story, if for what story there was.
Yeah, a little bit lacking. Did anything? Any strange happenings during rehearsal?
No, not really. No. Like I say, I've had. It brought on some horror, some weird dreams, nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, we came to see the play. Estes gave us some tickets, and I mean, did you notice any goings on with the crowd sort of towards the end? Well, towards the end of the performance stopping.
Well, there seemed to be a bit of a few people in the audience didn't seem particularly impressed. I mean, of course, as you know, Charles, I'm a professional, so my focus is on my fellow actors on the stage. So I absorb myself into the role. So I wasn't very very aware of what was going on until the final curtain, and then that fighting broke out. It was crazy.
I mean, my friend here, Harry, noticed somebody throwing up all over themselves.
Oh, maybe he'd had too much to drink. I really don't know.
No, well,
But
I don't think so.
I can't understand it because I quite enjoyed the play, and I think your performance was outstanding.
Oh.
I was quite engaged with the performance, and I wanted to learn a bit more. So I went and went to the library, and I read the book, the actual book itself, and I noticed you'd read the book, been to the library and read the book about a month ago. Was that just what?
Well, as I say, I take my role seriously, even if the standard is a little lacking. So yes, I found I heard that the British Museum Library held a copy. So it seemed a good idea to read it, to read up on it, so I could play my role of that much better.
Did the director not mention that he got an original copy? Did he?
I don't know about whether it was original. I do know that Estes had a copy, but he was using obviously was using that copy for his for writing and directing the play. So it's never, to be honest, never really. Plus, I understand it's in French, and my French is not great.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't just lend it out just like that.
No. I understand it was quite a treasured possession.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't want anything bad to happen to it.
No,
definitely not.
Quite a rare item.
Very, very rare.
Just do you know why he chose this particular play?
That I don't. I'm afraid.
What I mean, like I say, I quite enjoyed it, but I know it's had a bit of bad press and some of the reactions are unfavourable. But I just wonder what drove him to choose this play out of obscurity. It's
That I couldn't tell.
like a dead play,
I
isn't
could.
it?
I would say
Probably
that
we're better off asking him.
possibly. I would say that when I was initially approached by Estes with a view to doing the play, I was drawn. Yes, I would say that that's a reasonable description. I was drawn to it by from his description of the play. I was intrigued and I was drawn to it. Yes, I couldn't say why. As I say, I'd rather put this whole thing behind me. So I'm only just beginning to get over the bad dreams it gave me.
I don't need to roll a psychology, do I? She's
probably telling the truth on that.
She's telling the truth, and she seems to.
Yeah.
Or Phil's telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she's lying on it, giving her sort of bad dreams and stuff. So
I've not had any bad dreams, have I?
No.
None of us have had.
No.
But then again, she's run over it and over it and over it.
Yeah.
She's been rehearsing.
But she only read part of the book. I've read all the book.
All right. Gerald ruined the book. Don't hear him going on about it, do you?
I thought we were keeping that a secret, to be honest.
Oh.
I'll not say this in front of the girl, but maybe you could post it back to him, but put it in a really badly damaged parcel and just say posted it.
Postman ruined it.
Yeah.
Royal Mail.
Yeah.
Royal Mail.
Yeah. Now they're on strike.
He hasn't got a dog, has he?
No.
Maybe we could buy him a dog. I'm taking the long game here. Maybe we could buy him a dog.
Train it to eat books.
Train it to eat books.
And
then break into his house.
Use coffee as a trigger, so when it smells coffee, it chews the book.
Yeah. I think it's.
And when you go
perfect-
into his house, you drop the book on the floor.
and away you go. I
Did we
think
say he's elderly? he
Not that
elderly?
old.
No.
No.
No,
are you
he's
trying
got-
to
he's-
gaslight the poor bastard into thinking that he spilled coffee on the book?
Or we bring him outside and we push him down the stairs.
Yeah, we bump him off, and you
Yeah.
don't have to take it back.
Or we could just approach him while he's drinking coffee
And throw coffee in
with
his
the
face.
book and accidentally nudge him so he spills coffee on the book himself,
Ah.
Oh,
covering up.
we
Are we
could
saying
leave
this
it with
is- are we
this
saying-
girl
are we saying
and
this
tell
in
her
front
to
of
give it back, and then we blame her.
Yeah,
She spilled coffee on it.
could do. Hmm.
All perfectly legitimate solutions.
Right, spin on. It's the
New-
28th.
It's a new focus. This is where we're going now.
28th.
Yeah.
Hotel.
Jean's like, can I help you? No, sorry, we're just having a...
Do you mind? We're having a conversation
Staring at you. What are you
in your
doing?
apartment.
What are you doing in the corner of my room? Whispering.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's not really much else to get from her then, is there?
We weren't talking in front of her. We'd all
No.
gone to the toilet.
Yeah. You're killing me chances.
I think turning up with two old men is probably.
Yeah.
Mm,
How
yeah.
old is Gerald?
Old enough to be a great granddad.
I'm 53.
I am 55.
Oh, we're similar age. I was going to say we're your carer, but it doesn't quite work, does it?
No, I'm 38.
And to be fair, I look 75 probably with all the like.
Hmm.
So, yes, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Miss Hewitt.
Yeah, I'll put the feelers out for you, Gene, and see if we can get you on that back on that track.
Well, don't be a stranger, Charles. It's been a while, you know.
Oh,
When
I'll not
things
be a
have get- when
stranger,
things
don't
have-
you worry.
When things have picked up, maybe we can go out for a bite to eat or something.
That'd be lovely tomorrow.
No,
Too
not
soon.
tomorrow, Charles.
Tonight?
Yeah, now?
Right, she kind of half pushes you out the door.
Yeah.
Good night, Charles.
Good night. It's midday.
It is.
But it's good night for you.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, good night.
So yeah, it's almost 2 in the afternoon now. So what do you want to? Is there anything else you want to do, or do you want to hand wave the time and like go wibbly wobbly into the future?
I can't think of anything else.
I can't think of
No.
anything else we need to do.
We're not. You're not returning the book, so. And if he calls, just don't answer the phone. Don't answer any phone. Don't answer any post.
Yeah.
If he comes knocking at your house, just don't answer the door.
I'll shut blinds. I'll pretend it's tax.
Hide. Just stay at Gerald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not staying at mine.
Oh.
The doctor that wrote me the letter. I don't know him, do I? But he
No,
knows
you-
me. He's read one of
So
my
you
books.
know,
and
so you
everything.
know of him. You don't know him personally.
I've
So
not got any personal relation with him.
what is it? So you do know that you've heard of him. You did already know that he's the like superintendent of this asylum in Herefordshire. You know that he's got a good reputation as a hard-working and professional.
I can't remember
alienist.
from last time. Did I try and? I think I didn't try and find out about the case. I can't remember.
Yeah, but there's nothing. Yeah, you can't. I'm not sure. I think.
I think I was going to look at newspaper clippings, wasn't
Yes.
I? Like in a morgue or something.
Yeah, but
About the
you
case,
didn't actually get round to doing that now.
That'd probably be more in the town where it happened anyway, wouldn't it?
Possibly.
Unless it made main news, it may be more.
Yeah, well,
local
exactly.
news.
You don't even know whereabouts in the country where it happened.
Yeah.
So it would be
Now,
a
I'll
bit
not-
hard to pin it down.
I'll not bother with
But
that.
yeah, and you also know there is a member of the British Psychoanalytic Society, which you yourself are a member of as well. So yeah, he's got a good reputable reputation. Although is not as well known as you. Yeah. So is that what you want to do? You want to wait till it's pushed forward to when you're supposed to having this meeting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to do
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it's mine.
What? Sorry?
It's all right. I think my internet were playing up.
Oh.
There we go.
All good?
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Into the future.
So into the future to the 28th of October. Let's go. 28th October. Right. So. Yeah, you'll not be able to see anything at the moment. Should be able to see that. So
Yep.
the Great Western Hotel is at Paddington, attached to Paddington Station. It's which is the terminus of the Great Western Railway. It's a comfortable and reasonably priced hotel in West London, reachable by the Metropolitan and Bakerloo Underground lines. So you arrive there in good time, around just just after midday.
Lunchtime.
Yes.
For lunchtime.
Indeed. Where's my hour? Let's turn that back. And approach the desk manager in the reception.
Blah de blah blah. Can you tell
Hello,
me
my good man.
what room is? I can't remember the doctor's name.
Doctor Highsmith.
Did it say to just go to his room or?
No, it said to meet him there.
Oh, could you phone up to his room and tell him that Dr. Bancroft's here to see him?
Yes, of course. Just one more. If you'd care to take a seat in the lobby, I'll call upstairs. I'll call to his room.
Shall we get a drink while we wait?
I think we shall.
Yes.
Okay. So while you retire.
Coffee?
No, you wait for the coffee when he gives you the medical reports on this guy,
important papers.
and then bill for coffee.
The important papers or the priceless relic.
I'm now only allowed clear drinks.
Nothing other than water.
Mhm.
Yeah, when you say clear drinks, we're not vodka.
No.
Vodka, gin.
Water, and water.
Iced water.
Yeah,
With vodka
water.
in it.
With a slice of water.
So we're having a few drinks while we wait.
Okay, so you make yourselves comfortable in the lounge, in the hotel lounge, and get a drink. And after not long, but maybe pretty much just after you've got your drinks, a man who identifies himself as Doctor Highsmith approaches you. And this is what he looks like.
I will
I
stand.
noticed that you corrected yourself there from calling him Doctor Highsmith, was it? To a man who identifies himself.
Yeah. Well, you don't know who he is, do you, really? Well,
Why does he look so weird? That's what I want to know.
it's probably because somebody's been using AI to art.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with his eyes.
A lazy eye.
Got a lazy eye.
There's hardly any white to his eyes. He's a monster. Roll your sanity.
Sucking your soul out.
So yeah, it's a
I'll,
man with a brown hair and a trimmed beard, rather bushy eyebrows. Although he's not really bushy eyebrows there. He's
Or brown
dressed...
hair, for that matter. That's like saying I've got brown hair.
Yeah, it's kind of black, then, isn't it? So yeah, well, black hair, dark hair with grey streaks, silvery streaks. So he dresses a part of a country gentleman in tweeds and brogues, and he's there's a smoking pipe in his hand. So, good afternoon, gentlemen. And which of you is Dr. Bancroft?
I will stand and offer my hand. I am Dr. Bancroft.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I once again I must apologise for my impromptu introduction. I hope you didn't think it me too presumptuous of me to contact you unannounced.
No, not at all. Anything I can do to help a fellow colleague.
Well, follow me, gentlemen. I've reserved a table for us.
Oh, excellent.
And he leads you through to calls over the maitre d', and the maitre d' shows you to a table in a quieter part of the lounge. Yeah.
I'll introduce myself, seeing as my friend has been incredibly rude and not.
Oh, how rude of me!
And likewise.
I was
Gerald
thinking
Black.
about it in my head.
Antiquarian.
Are these like fellow colleagues? Or are they my friends? Friends. Is that the right term?
That's a bit strong.
Acquaintances.
Yeah,
Friends.
people I've met.
People I
Tend to hang
know.
around with all
Yeah,
weird
I've
things.
bumped into. I'll say colleagues.
In the lack of my ability to make any actual friends, these are the people that I pass my time with.
Well, Gerald, you're quite bookish, so you could maybe pass as a doctor, and then Charles, with his amazing acting skills, maybe you could pretend to be a psychologist.
Yes.
Or just
Thing.
be who you are.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
nothing about it.
It'd be
I'm
easier,
sure
wouldn't
I've sourced many rare books on psychology for you
Yeah.
to
it?
help.
I don't like
everybody
this. There's a floor plan. Something's going to go wrong.
Right, so it says I trust you had a reasonable journey here. The weather is atrocious, isn't it? The omnibuses, most of the omnibuses in around this part of London seem to be almost non-existent.
It's quite a bad spell we're having. Yes.
It is indeed. It is indeed. And yourself, Dr. Bancroft. How I hope you're well.
Yes, I'm very well, thank you.
And your associates.
Yes, very well. Just currently between roles.
Oh, Rose. I take it that means you're an actor.
Yes, you may have seen some of my work.
Oh, perhaps you if you care to drop a name. What
I reel off a few names.
He hasn't seen any of them. Has he? He's just being polite.
Right. Let's see. You can make a look roll. See if he's actually seen something.
He's a busy man. He's a fellow alienist like me. He's not got time for
let me
play.
re-enable
He's
that.
maybe not seen some of my.
Old stuff.
It
When
may
you
be,
when you were good.
he's maybe not seen anything.
I said, no, I'm sorry. Perhaps my fault probably.
I'll just sit there like that now. Fine.
Does he not get to the theatre much?
Probably yes, but probably my fault entirely, Mr. Astor. I'm not much of a theatre goer.
Maybe I could say you're like one of my patients who's got like delusions of grandeur that you
Napoleon
think
complex.
you're like a famous actor, but you're not.
Yeah.
But I won't do that.
See, maybe your credit rating, rather than how wealthy you are, should just go up and down depending on how well known you are.
It's a false credit rating.
Three.
Keep hanging about with me, it'll go up.
So I understand this. This is the first time this century that the Thames is and rivers up and down the country have been completely frozen.
I'm sure I probably remember the time before.
Yes, so there was probably time. I think.
Yeah.
The winter of 1666.
When I was an adult.
This will have been like in the papers, won't it? About the really bad weather and the Thames freezing.
So the entire country is like is being plagued by this extremely cold weather. Like communities, sort of more isolated communities have been completely cut off. And there's food, there's problems with food, with supply lines, and there's food shortages and things like that in certain areas. So it's quite bad. So finally, the a waiter comes to your table and gives you tea and cakes, whatever. The lunch, the food and drinks that Doctor Highsmith's ordered, and he gives the waiter a small tip discreetly. And then when the waiter's out of earshot, he says to his business at hand, Doctor, if you care to. So I must quite as I'm sure you understand. I must start by saying that I'm well aware of your work and your level of professionalism and your knowledge and your expertise in the field, which probably surpasses my own. And I'd be more than happy for you to approach approach this in any way that you deem effective. My only stipulation is that the privacy of the matter and the good name of St. Agnes is maintained, which I'm sure you can appreciate, sir.
St. Agnes, is that the town where it's...
That's the name of the asylum that he's superintendent of. So when you give him when you acquiesce and give him your assurance on these points, he empties his pipe, refills his pipe, and lights it before moving on. Says the patient in question, his name is Alexander Roby, brother of Graham Roby. I'm not sure if you where you've heard of him. You can all make a no roll.
What was the brother called, sorry?
Graham.
Graham.
You may make a no roll. What's that? Intelligence.
It is
education.
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 Yes.
That's all right. It's a little bit higher. I do not know him.
And
No.
10 pence short. I'm short, tip of my tongue.
Harry does.
Harry knows everything.
So Harry, you have heard of this this name before, and for the benefit of the other two, the Doctor Highsmith tells you anyway. Says yes, his brother Graham, a rather prominent London banker. So Graham and the family doctor, a Dr. Lionel Trollope, they committed Alexander to St Agnes's Asylum. It's almost 2 years ago now. So along with Graham Roby and Dr. Trollope, I myself was the third person that signed the order on petition that must be, as you know, forgive me if I'm being too speaking in too much for layman terms. I'm sure you're well aware of all the technicalities and legalities of all this. But yeah, with the three of us signed the order on petition that authorised the admittance to the asylum and instigated the mandatory minimum period. So this admittance occurred, as I intimated in my letter, close upon the murder of Herbert, the father of Alexander and Graham, and also of their sister Georgina, who were both murdered at the family home here in London. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, Alexander suffered greatly from this incident, and since has suffered. One of his main symptoms is he suffered from night terrors. Although I have been encouraged by his progress, and I see no evidence of any untreatable long-term insanity in Alexander.
Just as he's saying this, this his father and sister. Do I know of the murder? Do I remember the murder?
You could all make another no roll. Yes, why not?
That's quite a. What we're talking, a middle class family.
I do. I have heard of this.
Yes. So you've heard of it.
We've all heard of it. Headline news.
Yeah.
No,
Gerald,
don't remember at all.
Not interested in news, just books.
What?
Well, it was good. It was in the newspaper. He was about to read it, but he spilled some coffee over it, and he didn't get to read it.
So yeah, it was quite high profile case in the papers.
How were they murdered? Have they caught the murderer?
You can't remember the details. You could probably look at the one thing that why it stands out is because the murders were quite brutal.
Well, can I ask, what's he called? Highsmith.
Yeah.
Doctor Highsmith, refresh my memory. I vaguely remember the murders. Was the culprit caught? And just refresh me.
No, they weren't. As a matter of fact, Alexander claimed responsibility for the murders, which was he was taken because of this. He was taken into custody briefly, but as it was clearly impossible that he was involved.
The police weren't doing their job. They just normally set him up.
Does it
case
seem
closed?
Does it seem that he admitted to it just to admit to it, or
Was he
That's
covering for
an
somebody else?
interesting question. But there is Alexander does have. He was certainly heavily traumatized by the event, and I suspect an indirect transfer of guilt onto himself.
So no evidence
No,
at all that he
there
was
was no
involved.
evidence. It was in. It was in. Alexander was in the house, but no, there was no. There was no evidence. There was no. It was. It was not. The police concluded it was. It would. It would be been physically impossible for him to be involved.
And how old is this? How old is Alexander?
Alexander is. If you give me he is 36.
And is his brother older than him,
His
Graham?
brother is older. Yes.
So why don't you think Graham wants him released? Because Graham would probably inherit anyway.
This is a point of contention, Dr. Bancroft. As I say, I see no evidence of any untreatable long-term insanity in Alexander, and in that brief and predictably spaced series of attacks of anxiety, I've managed to easily control these with strong sleeping drafts. And as you're aware, an order on petition in English law commits a patient for a maximum of 2 years. But now that that committal is due for review. Now,
What's the potential? What's your thoughts on what the outcome of the review will be?
well, it will be up to me to decide whether to release Alexander or to keep him committed. But I am of the belief that he is fit. As I say, it shows no sign of any untreatable long-term insanity. There is these night terrors and anxiety attacks, which are quite easily controlled with medication. But and it would be my opinion that that Alexander is fit for release. But I'm uneasy on this on one point. The stance of Alexander's family. So all communication on the case has been through the family physician, Doctor Trollope, who has been urging me on a number of occasions
So,
to by letter over the course of the last year to keep Alexander committed.
does he say why?
That it is his belief that he's unfit to be released. Essentially,
Does
Does
he
he
go
give a
and see
reason?
him? Does he visit him?
Yeah.
How would he know?
no.
So how does he come to these
Well,
conclusions?
this is an interesting question. I do get the sense that the family is leaning upon the doctor to do so, but the family will not speak to me directly. It is through Doctor Trollope that communication is.
Does the family?
made.
So the family don't come see him either.
Oh no. It's as part of this treatment, he access has been restricted. So Alexander receives no visitors.
So who's paying for his treatment?
Oh, his family.
Uh,
His family is paying for his
So
treatment.
they are paying for his treatment. So
yes.
if he was released, where's he going to go? Or his family?
Well, if his family insists on persisting with their view that he shouldn't be released, then he will have to be released into a community care, into a rest home.
But they can't stop him being released legally.
No, not. I mean, it's possible that they could, if they could provide a justification, a court could overturn my my assessment, of course.
So what is it you want from me?
Well,
Do you want
a
a
number
second opinion?
a number of
or-
things, Dr. Bancroft, if you would humour me a little longer. So I would be interested to hear what Dr. Trollope's views, actual real views on the matter are. As I say, I get the impression that the family is leaning upon the Doctor somewhat, is perhaps not giving his true, honest opinion
I'm
on the matter.
confused. I'm confused, Doctor. Why do you think he's going to talk to me, somebody that's got nothing to do with it, when he won't talk to you? He'll only
Well,
talk to you by letter. Why is he going to talk to me? Why don't
unfortunately,
you go? Why don't you go and see him, or insist on a meeting with him?
I understand that that would seem to be the reasonable course of action. Unfortunately, due to the ongoing process, we've both retreated to somewhat entrenched positions, and I thought perhaps somebody of your reputation and independence could maybe help move things along. Um, perhaps even if you were able to even speak to Graham Roby, as I'm anxious to learn more of the family history. They've been somewhat not forthcoming in all my requests for information, but so I would be anxious to, if we're able to learn any more of Alexander's family history, what led up, what led up to his admission, more about his character while he was at liberty. Um, all this will help me reassess my position and in light of any new information. But as I say, my plan is currently to recommend that Alexander is released into care of a relative, or, if need be, a convalescent home. As I say, it will need to be the latter if the family remain dead set against his release. But my main reason for asking you here, Dr. Bancroft, as I intimated in my letter, is I would like your opinion, to give your opinion, your assessment on Alexander.
I don't work for free.
But of course not, Doctor. No.
I am quite a busy. Am I a physician? Alienist. I am
I
quite a
understand
busy
that.
man. I do have appointments.
I understand
I
that,
must keep.
Doctor Bancroft. Of course, any fees that are incurred will be paid for by the family.
And I may need the assistance of my two colleagues to do some
by all
legwork
means,
for
as
me.
I say, I am happy for you to conduct yourself in whatever uh, whatever
So
way you deem
expenses
appropriate.
covered.
I am quite cheap though.
I'm not.
As I say, the only stipulation I ask, as you've already acquiesced to, is that the privacy of the individuals and the reputation of St Agnes's remains intact.
Yeah. How long did we have before you make your decision and the courts decide?
Though that will be later in November, so there's time yet. I am returning um, to Herefordshire on the 30th of October, and you are more than welcome to join me if you would wish to speak to Alexander Alexander at this point. Of course, if you wish to do so at another time, I extend an open invitation.
Well, am I going to get anything more out of him? I mean, how long have you been working with him?
For 2 years, but as I say,
Do you think myself, I'm going to get more out of him in like maybe an hour's meeting than you've spent 2 years with him?
Well, I would hope so, sir. As I say, I have a great respect for your work, and I think your insight would be more than helpful.
And his brother and the family doctor, they're based in London.
They are indeed, sir. Yes, I
So
will provide you with their contact details, and once I return to St Agnes's, I will write a letter of introduction to for you to both of them.
No need. We'll
I'm
go.
sure. I'm sure it will. It will give. It will ensure the to smooth. Smooth introduction.
In fact, if you could write those letters out today, and we'll go and visit him in the next couple of days before we go with you to the asylum. Speed things up. I do have a few free days in my diary, so.
I should be able to do that. I do have a few appointments to keep myself while I'm in London. As I say, this was not the only matter that brought me to London. But yes, I'm sure I can do
Just
that.
a letter of introduction. If they don't want to talk to me, they don't want to talk to me. But we'll see.
Yes, I'm sure that I can.
I'm sure the doctor would speak to me.
Yes.
Maybe the family may not.
Well, as I say, that I'm sure that if I provide a letter of introduction, I can send it ahead, and so they have prior warning of that you will be contacting them.
Do you have any in regards to the actual murders? Do you have any paperwork or files on that, or any contacts with the police we can go to?
I do have some of the information on file. Of course, that paperwork is back at the institution.
Because I would want to look at that. I just see if there's any reason why the family.
I mean, I can share with you. Of course, I can share with you what I do know.
Please do.
I mean, as I already mentioned, the murders involved a disturbing amount of brutality, and Alexander confessed, but no charges were brought, as it was impossible for him to have been involved.
Why you say it was impossible? Why was it impossible?
I wasn't present at this. This is the result of the police investigation.
How were they murdered? You say brutality, but what was cause of death? Were they stabbed, strangled, mutilated? Give us the gory details.
I believe they were attacked with bladed weapons.
Plural.
As I understand it, yes. As I say, the exact details of the police would probably be the better source of the information. As I say, I have some more information on file, but that's at the institute. The father was exsanguinated.
Was he now? It's a very large word for a Thursday lunchtime.
I apologise, Mr. Black. It means his body was drained of any blood.
I sell rare books. I know what.
He knows what big words are.
My apologies.
What they mean.
There's a thesaurus in the shop.
I didn't mean
any
offence.
Coffee on it though.
Yeah.
What about the daughter? Did she suffer the same fate?
She was. She suffered grievous injuries, but she did not suffer the same fate. No.
How old was she?
How old? She was. She was in her 20s. Yes.
Younger.
Yes.
So were the blades used on both of them?
Yes. I believe the police thought there was two different weapons used.
Aha! I've solved it. It's the doctor and Graham.
So
They're the murderers.
I believe the family was also unhappy with the company that Alexander kept around the time or just before the time of the murders.
Aha! I've solved it. It was the company that he kept.
But I I'm afraid I know little about these matters. The family is, perhaps understandably, quite protective about a lot of their private details.
So if you say you have more detailed paperwork back at the asylum, or
Yes.
St. Agnes or whatever it's called, if we go to the Metropolitan Police, I'm sure they would be able to bring us up to speed, especially me.
I say, would you be
I'm-
able to give us a letter of introduction, or
They'll
when the
know
police
me.
actually talk to us?
They'll know me.
I'm afraid
No,
I have no contacts with the Metropolitan Police. I'm afraid I would not be able to provide a letter of introduction that would carry any weight at all. I'm afraid.
Well, I will work with them, won't I? With my job, like criminal psychologist,
Possibly.
I'll have interactions with them.
They may also know me, unfortunately.
For destroying,
Did you ruin
accidentally
some of their
destroying evidence.
casework? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So-
gentlemen, is there anything else you would like to ask Doctor Highsmith? Because I'm
no,
out of
I think
ideas.
it's.
I don't think so.
We probably need to talk to the chap.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, would you like to know more about the nature of his illness, Dr. Bancroft?
He's crazy.
He's a mentalist.
Yeah, he's a mentalist.
So-
Nothing wrong with him. You're wanting to free him.
Indeed.
What's wrong?
He confessed
What's wrong
to
with you,
stabbing
man?
people.
He's perfectly fine.
He confessed to stabbing people that he didn't, in fact, stab.
He's confused.
So I believe Alexander's illness stems from the incident and the grief and perhaps guilt that he feels, but there's no history of insanity in the family, nor had Alexander himself have any such history. The episodes that have that manifested themselves when interrupted his sleep by periods of anxiety and panic. His pulse and breathing became rapid, pupils dilated, hair on the backs of his arms and the nape of his neck standing on end. The subject became confused and was hard to calm down. So, as you know, this sounds like a dictionary definition of night terrors or scotophobia. So
That's what I thought.
I've been administering a half a fluid ounce of laudanum, which, as you know, is quite a heavy dose to stop these periods of anxiety and panic. I did experiment with smaller doses, but these didn't seem to be effective. So the increased dosage seems to relieve the problem. So Alexander was free also. Interestingly, Alexander was also free of these attacks for extended periods when not medicated.
What triggered them coming back then?
Well, these I do have these a few of his medication records here, and he hands you. He goes into his briefcase and hands you a small folder with records of his medication and recording his bouts of anxiety and panic. And let's see, you can make a.
What was his profession?
Alexander was he
Playboy.
Older brother's a banker. He said,
he did not have a profession as such. I believe.
he was an actor, an artist.
No. I believe,
Thespian.
I believe the people refer themselves as sometimes a dilettante, but even that he did have various forms of employment, but at the point when these incidents took place, he was currently a gentleman of leisure. I would say.
The company that he was keeping with the people of the same kind of
I am
unprofession.
I'm unhappy to say that I'm unaware of who these individuals were. As I say, the family has been.
Well, that's something the family will no doubt fill us in.
Hopefully so. As I say, this
If they
this
see us.
information would be as I'm sure you're aware, would be of great help to in assessing this case. But yeah, if you can make a medicine roll if you want while looking at these papers.
So it's an unsolved crime as well. I know we're not looking into the crime, but we are going to look into the crime. Medicine.
Yeah.
I don't have any of that.
27.
I'll not be doing that then. We're 86.
Oh no. Oh right, I thought that was your roll at 27. I'm going to say that'd be a success. You've got 41.
Oh, that would be mine. I've read
Oh,
books, you know.
You've only got 1% base though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even going to roll at 1%.
You didn't read enough of them books.
No. Spilt coffee on them instead.
Oh yeah, I'm going to push it. Get ready
Okay.
with your coffee, Gerald.
What's yours?
Get some
it's
whiskey.
41.
Hold the cup out of the way.
Get ready. Get ready. So-
What I'll do is I'll rub your shoulders and massage you to focus you so you can push.
You've got to explain how you're going to push it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I've got a bit of an headache. I've had too much to drink. I need something to eat. Is it time for lunch?
Hint, hint.
And then I'm going to squint and have another look. That doesn't really explain the push, does it?
Hey, so Doctor Highsmith can see that you're looking a bit puzzled. So he says, if you
Well,
if
I
you'd
think
like
your
to,
professional reputation is on the line here.
well, that as well. Yeah, that's a pretty good
I've only
reason
got
to push it as well.
41% in medicine. I've got
Says,
psychology and psychoanalysis.
if you'd like to, if you could return the papers to me by tomorrow, then.
Is there anything out of ordinary with what you're showing me now? Is there something I should be looking at?
Well, you'd have to make a medicine roll.
So can I push it now?
Harsh.
Yeah, go on then.
So he's not very helpful, is he? Wants me to help him, but then
don't
he's
wanna
not
help you.
helping me.
Well, it's assuming this is like standard stuff, so it's assuming you'll.
That you would just know it.
Um,
Unless you're actually not a very good doctor.
Are you ready? Are you ready, Gerald, with that coffee? Yeah.
Boom!
It
Smack on,
teetered.
us right on the nose.
On the money.
Wow. Okay, so that's exactly what you needed.
You want me
So
to make a dexterity roll with that?
It was the back rubbing from Charles.
That's
and
it, yeah. I'll focus your mind.
Me straining my eyes.
Yeah.
So leafing through these papers, you can see that that Alexander was prescribed medication upon his original admittance in November 1926, and was kept on it until April of 1927. He was then free of medication and of any kind of anxiety or panic attacks or night terrors until an incident occurred. Another incident occurred on October the 19th of 1927. Then he was given 2 3-month prescriptions, and then after that he was unmedicated and free from attacks again from April 1928 until another recent incident on October the 15th of this year.
So that's
And
both times in October.
Have you been the physician from the beginning?
Yes.
You prescribed the first.
I have,
dose?
yes.
What first date? October 19th and then October 15th.
So first it was admitted on November the 26th, November 1926, and whereupon he was given medication, and he was kept on it until April 1927. He was free of medication and any attacks until an incident on the 19th of October 1927, when he was given 2 3-month prescriptions, and after that, he was unmedicated and free from attacks from April 1928
October
till
15th.
October the 15th, 1928.
And I think it's reasonable to assume that he was admitted in November, so it was October.
So October's when it happened.
Yeah.
And we are in October now, aren't we?
Yes,
When was that play? Was it? I've got 14th. Of
that
May.
was
October 14th?
that was October. Yeah, that was near the beginning of October. Yeah, about a week, about 2 weeks ago.
And it is currently
The
27th.
So he's overdue in that case.
Oh, is he going to go loopy when we go and visit him? Is that what you're telling me?
Possibly.
You're gonna.
It seems to
So
be
he's currently
October.
Dr. Highsmith tells you he's currently under
Is
obviously
he on medication?
he's on medication again
Really?
because he suffered an
Right,
attack.
okay.
So now he's put him on his medication again.
So his medication pretty much wears out after 6 months then. So
Well,
after
they
he gets,
they keep medicating him and for that period of time,
so,
then
so he
stop
gets
it.
He get his medication stopped in April both times.
Yeah.
You probably need some more medication when we go and see him.
So he's had he has
Or
an
after.
episode. He has an episode. He gets medicated. He's free of medication in April, and then he has another episode in
Attack in
October. And he's had
Yeah.
2 now, 15th and 19th.
So what do the episodes entail? Just sleeplessness, night terrors.
As I say, anxiety,
Anxiety.
night terrors, panic attacks.
Don't you just
Killing people.
don't
Is
you
he
just
quite
tell him to
vocal
get a
about it?
grip?
Yeah, slap him.
Get a
Oh,
grip.
Go for,
I must apologise.
go for a walk.
I do.
Get some fresh air. Get some hobbies.
I do actually have the newspaper clippings regarding the murders.
Oh, now
Do you just carry these around?
Now,
Yeah.
now
Now we're getting somewhere. Do you want to get them out?
So yeah, he gives you these.
We got some crime scene photos.
No.
No.
I move Gerald's coffee.
Yeah, best
Probably
best be
wise.
safe. 41. That was bang on, wasn't it?
Want to open for some reason? I don't know. Come on, there we go.
Oh, it's I must have pressed. I didn't press push, did I, when I did my medicine roll?
Oh, did you not?
No.
No. So because it starred it, so I need to unstart it because you don't get it, do you, if you push it?
No, I don't believe so.
You'll have to take that off me.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Deprive me of my medicine.
There you go. So the two newspaper clippings. One covering the story and one the obituary of the father. So murder at Mayfair Mansion. Family member held for questioning. A double murder was committed last night at the home of Mr. Herbert Roby, 4 Curzon Street, Mayfair. The police were called to the house at 10:45 p.m. by domestic staff to discover the bodies of 2 family members, Mr. Herbert Roby himself and his daughter, Miss Georgina Roby. Police say that this does not appear to be a random attack or the work of burglars, and that the motive is as yet unknown. A family member has been detained to assist with their inquiries, which are ongoing. Mr. Herbert Roby, 64, was retired from the Foreign Office and the father of the well-known merchant banker Mr. Graham Roby, who was not in town at the time of the tragedy. That was in the Daily Express, 15th of October, 1926. Then you got the obituary from 2 days later. Arthur Roby, suddenly on 14th of October 1926, at his home in Mayfair, aged 64 years, survived by 2 sons, Graham and Alexander. A private service will be held on the 23rd of October. Flowers should be sent to Ames Funeral Home in Westminster.
Were we saying that it kicks off in October? It kicks off in November.
October.
in October.
15th.
Because the murders were in October, weren't they? So
Yeah.
maybe.
So
it's-
this
And
is
then October.
this is
a year later.
this is possible.
October a year after that.
So this is possibly why Dr. Highsmith believes this is linked to his attacks.
It says well-known merchant banker.
Yes.
How well-known is he? Do we know of him?
You
Have we heard of him?
you knew of him. You had heard of him. You remember you made that roll, that no roll.
Or is that what that was for?
Yeah. So yeah, you'd heard of him.
but he wasn't in town, so
No.
allegedly.
So I shall put that into your handouts bit, so you configure permission, so everybody you can all see that now at your leisure.
There's nothing about his. We don't know anything about his father though, who was a. He wasn't well known.
So no,
Doesn't say well known, just Foreign Office.
yeah.
it
So
says.
he worked for the Foreign Office, but retired.
What happened to the family house? Does the other son actually live in that house? still,
I
or-
believe so. I'm not entirely certain, but I believe so. You'd have to check up on that. I'm not entirely certain.
Would you want to stay in a house where your father and sister have been murdered?
As I
Probably
say,
not.
the
Probably
a
not.
lot of personal details have been have been withheld for obvious reasons, of course. But
So there's no mention of the wife, so I presume she's dead. The elderly, the mother,
no, there's
Mother
no.
of the
Yes, I believe so. Yes, and with so there's- and of course we've had there's been no as I already mentioned, been no outside influences. I've been his contact with outside influences has been carefully monitored and restricted. So we've had nothing during his confinement. There's been nothing major happen.
Right then. So if you write me some letters of introduction, and I'll give him my. Well, he's got my address already. If he
Yeah,
can send them to me, or get a courier to bring them to me, and then we can go a calling.
Well, as I say, Dr. Bancroft, I shall write the letters and send them off, and I shall notify you when they have been dispatched.
And let's have lunch.
You can all make an idea roll as well.
Rarely have any idea.
Idea and totally wrong. No, I'm out of ideas. 1 point off.
I have an idea.
Hey,
Yeah, there we go.
So whether you mention anything to Harry
hang
or not,
on a minute.
you both something that that Doctor Highsmith just said just catches your attention. So when we were speaking about the restricting access and to avoid outside influence, he said that there had been no major incidents.
How about minor incidents?
Lots of those.
What do they actually
What do you
define
class
as
as an
major?
incident? Yeah.
Oh,
What's an incident
well,
and what's major and minor?
Like I say, nothing major. There was on a couple of occasions a nurse was found
Dead.
with Alexander
Throat slit.
without that was not scheduled when there was no there was
The nurse was found
according
with
to
him.
the rotas there was nobody should have been nobody in the building at that point.
What was she doing?
We have no female nurses. They're all male nurses.
All right. What was he doing?
Nursing.
No. What if it's obviously an unscheduled visit? What
Just talking with the patient, with Alexander.
about?
That's what they call it.
Well,
What,
we do encourage our staff to engage on a social level.
But at this time of night?
It wasn't at night.
Oh, it's day.
It was just an unscheduled.
Oh, right. Oh.
There was no nurses scheduled to be carrying out those kind of duties at that particular time.
Does this nurse still work for you?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We'll talk to
We'll
him
speak
when
to
we
that
go
nurse,
to
yeah.
say
It's quite a valued member of staff.
I bet he is.
So going back to the original question, what do you call an episode or an incident?
Well, as I say, there were no major incidents, as in nobody was had been admitted into into the asylum. No outside persons had been admitted into the asylum and in to see Alexander without permission. As I say, this is I've made a point of restricting his access and contact with the outside world. I find it, as I'm sure you would agree, Dr. Bancroft, I find it is beneficial when dealing with patients of this nature. I mean, there was also an incident of some pencils were found in Alexander's possession, and we were unable to determine how he got hold of these. As I'm sure you understand, Dr. Bancroft, such things shouldn't happen. Shouldn't be. Patients shouldn't be given access to things like this. As there was never any worry.
Pencils, highly dangerous.
Yes, I mean there was
Got
never any
pointy
concern that
tips.
this particular patient was at risk. But again, this is policy.
I think you need to tighten your security up.
Well,
Sounds like you've got nurses sneaking pencils.
Rest assured, Dr. Bancroft, this has been taken care of. I have indeed taken steps to ensure such incidents do not reoccur.
The best course of action would have been to sack the nurse. But
Well, as I say, normally that would have been the course of action I take, but the nurse in question is quite a capable staff member, and after it was a consideration, but after speaking to the member of staff in question, the situation was resolved amicably. On the preface that if such a thing were to occur again, it would result in instant dismissal.
yeah, we'll have a talk with.
But by
this,
all means, you are
nurse.
well. As I say, I'm happy for
Yeah.
you to conduct
Charles to beat the truth out of him.
yourself.
I'll dance on him.
I'm happy for you to conduct yourself in whatever way you deem appropriate, so
Really?
long as the
I'm sure
privacy
about that.
of the patient and the reputation of the institution remains intact.
Yeah, clearly not matters.
It's very trusting, isn't it? This doctor.
Well, yeah, you've got.
He may live to regret
You're very
that.
famous.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I think you are a little bit of a fan, and I'll reach into my doctor's medical bag and I'll get out my book and I'll sign him a copy of my book and give him the book.
Oh, I see. That's very kind of you, sir. I shall replace it my other copy with this one. It shall take pride of place. And Dr. Bancroft, you can make a psychology roll.
He's a psychopath,
And he finds out he don't actually want your book.
and he's not even a doctor.
He gives it to Gerald.
He's a nutter.
Who spills coffee on it?
Psychology.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna not fail this. 75%. Ready? Are you ready?
Rolled a 99.
76. Oh, look at that. I need to know everything about him.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to ask him?
What does that do for me? Psychology. Is he telling? Is he? Do I believe everything he said? Is he holding anything back?
Yeah. No, you believe everything he said.
Really?
Yep.
Are you sure? Yeah,
Yep.
it must be because I've got Max.
Yeah. Like I say, you're fully
No, I
aware
don't
of his.
trust him.
You're fully aware of his reputation. You know of him. Is a upstanding professional.
Does he want to roll a psychology to see if wrong bloke. He's got the Three Stooges.
Is there anything else any other questions I can answer for you at this time, Dr. Bancroft? If that,
Yes. What's on the menu?
oh, and he laughs and calls over the maitre d' and orders everybody whatever they want from the menu.
So we're just gonna...
Whatever we want.
Yep.
Hey,
What's at the bottom in the priciest?
we're
can
just
have
going to
whatever you
await
want.
him getting back to us to tell us that the letters have been sent out. As long as he can do that
Mhm.
before the 2 days are out. We could probably go to the police, maybe have a look into the murder more.
Yeah.
Try and talk to the people that actually investigated it. Is there any hints or clues? What suspects they had? Who were his friends, dodgy friends? But no, there's not. Apart from that, I can't see what else we can do.
No, I think we need to talk to the nurse and talk to the guy.
How far away is this St Agnes place?
It's in Herefordshire, so if you
Like you
look, I'll move us back to the meeting table. In fact, I think you can manually move yourself to the meeting table.
I've never had any dealings with that place ever before. He's just contacted me out of the blue. I've never heard
no,
of
you
it.
haven't. No, not directly. Like I say, you're aware of the place. You know that he's the superintendent. You know that he's a professional, upstanding professional.
I would like to know how they're so sure that this guy could have had nothing to do with the murders. Well, that's some sort of rock solid alibi going on there, but he's still got committed.
And what's the distance from?
Well, let's see. Let's move it back to the.
It's not unusual, is it, for somebody to go to an asylum?
If you look on
It's a couple hundred mile, isn't it?
If you look on the map, there's two pins on the map of London and Herefordshire. So it's close to the Welsh border.
It's not Welsh border.
Why would you put him in an asylum so far away?
Well, they don't visit him, so maybe out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, but
Is it because it's rural though? Because Herefordshire would be rural, so it's like, is it that it's healing for him out in the countryside?
Yeah, and it's a high class. It's an expensive asylum.
And can keep. Well, I was going to say can keep stum, but he's just come and spilt his guts to us. Foolish move, if ever there was one.
No, so
started the spooky music again.
We'll have a nice lunch, and then should we go to the police straight away?
Yeah.
So I presume does he know like who was the lead on the investigation? Does he know any of that?
No, he doesn't know.
Well, we've probably got enough information, haven't we? Alexander Robert, Lionel Trollope.
So, like I said,
probably go
he's
and see the doctor.
He's giving you the addresses, but it says he's going to write these letters of introduction, and it's it's like it's pretty standard. It's not unusual kind of etiquette with this kind of level of society. You're not likely to. It's not impossible, but you're not likely to just be able to just get to see somebody of that in that kind of social standing. By just turning up on the doorstep.
Is he the family doctor? He's not a psychologist or anything like that.
No, he's not a psychologist.
Just a physician.
The family physician.
Can I try and palm a cream bun on our way out?
You can, yeah.
Save it for later.
I don't think you need to palm it.
No, I mean it's getting paid.
Can I have a doggy bag?
It probably does. Yeah, it just does it out of habit.
Just order a cake and then take the half that you don't eat with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're leaving, Doctor Highsmith shakes your hand. He thanks you like several times for replying favourably to his request, and he assures you that he'll write these letters of introduction, get them sent at the first opportunity. But he does ask you again whether you will be joining him on the trip back to the to Herefordshire on the 30th, or if you will be choose to come at a later date.
Well, we'll try and go back with him. That would probably
Yeah.
make more sense.
Okay.
Definitely do the police. Wait a little bit for a letter of introduction to the doctor. And if we don't get that in time, we'll go and kick his door down.
Seems fair.
Okay. So he thanks you again and excuses it after you've eaten. He excuses himself as he has other business matters to attend to while he were in London.
Like what?
So by which time it is about 2:30 in the afternoon.
Cop shop.
Mm-hmm.
Where I would definitely deal with the Metropolitan Police with my job. So it's murder, isn't it? So wherever you go for murders,
Hey,
what's the biggest? Who deals with murders in Metropolitan Police? Or they would have like their own files, wouldn't they? Maybe I could phone round first to some of my contacts.
see, I would have thought if it's a family of stature, it'll be somebody pretty high ranking.
How about, is it worth us going to the library to, now we know exactly, to research more? Or should we just go to cops?
Yeah, I was going to say what the papers say and what actually happened.
No, it's not going to be any difference. The police might give us a bit more information. I'm
Okay.
interested in the suspects, his friends.
Mm.
So you're going to the Met then, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Cat wall.
Nothing to say.
It's a giant cat.
Okay, so you catch a cab, or well, probably have to take the underground because cabs are really unreliable at this point.
There is like 3 foot of snow in fairness.
Yeah.
Didn't we tell you we're all wearing skis?
There are people actually getting about on skis and things.
We got snowshoes on. We've come into
Yeah.
a restaurant
Cabs,
with snowshoes
yeah,
on.
cabs are those. What were those Finnish like powered ski-mobiles called?
Snowmobile.
We're
No,
dressed
with,
like
propellers.
Eskimos. We've all got like big fur coats on and everything.
They're like sledges with propellers on the back.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember what they're called now.
Swamp boat.
Pretty much, yeah, but with skis.
Okay, so
To try and fob me off, I'm going to get. Don't you know who I am? No, I don't. Oh. Oh. Should we try and bribe a policeman? See how that works.
So I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it doesn't really matter anyway. So yeah, you catch it under the tube to as close as you can get to the Met, and then make your way, to the HQ or whatever you want to call it. Not sure what you call it. So yeah, there's a desk sergeant at the Met. It's probably, obviously it's a much bigger scale, and a bigger police presence than some of the regional police stations around the city, but yes, gentlemen, how can I help you?
Good afternoon, Constable. Is it a constable or
It's a
sergeant?
sergeant. Desk
Good
sergeant.
I
afternoon, sergeant.
probably need to have some sort of like fake moustache and big
Don't
pair
want-
of glasses.
Don't want to look suspicious. Just put a disguise on.
Not all of my books come from strictly reputable sources.
So I will introduce myself as Dr. Harry Bancroft. I am here at the request of a Doctor Highsmith in regards to a double homicide from a couple of years ago. Dr. Highsmith is an alienist, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's an alienist, and he's actually the psychologist of the son that was arrested, and I can't be bothered to go through it all. But so Alexander Graham is the patient.
Alexander Roby.
Or is it Ruby? Sorry.
Yeah,
Or
Graham
Graham's
is his brother. Yeah.
Can't read me on notes. I've got the names, but just in the wrong order. So we were just wondering. We want a little bit more information on the actual murders themselves. We know that both his father and his sister were murdered. Knives were involved. Am I talking to the right person?
So you need to make a credit rating roll. You can make a credit rating roll or a law roll.
Law? What is this law you speak
It's
of?
over to you, I think, on all counts.
Oh, I seem to have missed putting anything on law. That's a mistake, isn't it?
What with me being Gerald? Leave this to me. I've got this.
I've got the credit rating. I should have law. That's wrong. I've made a mistake. So here goes 60% of it. Not having any of it. So
Push it.
I'm going to get a little bit stroppy. Don't you know who I am? Kind of thing. I want to speak to your superior. And yeah, get arrested.
Okay.
He won't arrest me. Right. So how do you push it?
You click on it. Click on box where you've rolled.
Yeah.
And you'll get a drop down that says push at bottom.
I'll spend 26 luck.
A drop down. Where's the drop down?
So-
You know, like when your results have come up on the right, where it says 86. Click on the 86.
Yeah, I did, and then it says 110 dice.
And is it not got
80.
push underneath?
No. Oh, sorry. I'm about to scroll down.
Yeah,
What
you
do we
scroll
need?
down. Yeah.
26 luck. Nice. I got to push it. I pushed it.
you go.
Yes. This is it's I shall that would be Inspector John Stevens that was in charge of that case, I believe.
And he's
Although I'd be a little reticent, sir, to bother the inspector. I can perhaps get the junior officer to speak to you.
Yes. Anybody that can help us with our investigation.
Well, if you'll take a seat over there for a moment, I'll see if he's on duty.
Is there any chance of a coffee? It's quite cold out, isn't it? And yeah, we'll go and take a seat.
Not really, sir. I'll go and see if
No, it is cold out.
Yes. Yes.
You mean the coffee? Ah, the coffee.
Right. So he goes away, and a short time after, he returns with a younger man wearing a detective. Well, he's not wearing a uniform. He says, "I'm Detective Sergeant Lorimer. As the sergeant says, you wanted to speak to somebody about the Roby murder. Do you have something, some evidence, some?"
We are investigating on behalf of an alienist that is the current doctor involved with the medical
Youngest son.
recovery of the youngest son, Alexander, and he just is due to be released. And I'm just wanting to check up on some of the actual crime that he was originally accused of. I just want some more information about the murder of his father and his daughter. Would it be possible to see the files and the murder photographs? And there was mention of Alexander had some untoward friends. I know the case is still open. I just I'm quite intrigued.
You can make another credit rating roll
And fail again.
or fast talk.
Or give him a wad of cash and then go to prison. Oh no! I give Gerald the cash.
Can I
to
try and
give to the
fast talk
police.
him? Can I try and chuck some sort of fast talking with him?
You can if you want. What are you going to say to him?
Don't you know who I am?
No, no. I've just.
Have you got any fast talk?
I have 66.
Go for it. 6 points more than me.
Yeah, so I guess I sort of back up.
I can go for a don't you know who I am with my fake moustache and my glasses on. So I really hope you don't.
I'll go. I don't know who you are. Who are you?
Yeah, who is it?
Where's Gerald? Where's Gerald?
He just keeps following us. I sort of back up what Harry says then, saying, look, we're really, we're after some information about these murders. We really want to get, we've sort of been commissioned by the family to sort of find out more details about it, do a little bit digging on it. It's, we thought we'd come to you guys, get a little bit of help from you, as the Met Police. You've got pretty good standards out there.
And if you fail, you can push it with the art of dance.
I've got 59 in psychology, so I'll woo him with that.
Mime it.
Go on then, make a fast talk roll.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, well done, well done. Well, normally I wouldn't, but if this is going to perhaps if this is going to help things, maybe you'll, if you come with me, I'll come down, through to the records room. I'll pull the case file.
Excellent.
I see the murder photos.
I need to use my disguise skill.
So it takes us through to like a records archive, just like filing this like dusty, sort of musty smelling room, like lined with wooden filing cabinets, and he goes down, opens up a couple of drawers till he finally pulls out this case file, puts it down on like a desk to the side. Says there you go. It's I'll be back. I'll be back in about half an hour.
Is it quite a thick file, or is it?
It's not unusual. If it's nothing like massive.
I forgot what I was going to say. No, it's gone. Oh, were you actually involved in the murder itself 2 years ago?
I assisted the inspector. Yes.
Were you at so you were at the murder scene?
Yes.
Would it be well after we've had a look through the notes? Would it be possible to just ask you a few questions after we've read up on it?
I suppose so, but the reports,
ve-
the reports, everything's in the report there.
It's just something that I might want to quiz you on when we're looking at the notes. You've been very helpful.
Well,
Sergeant.
yes. As I say, I can give you half an hour. So I'll be back in half an hour.
Okay, right. Speed read. Let's do it.
Okay.
No coffee. We're going to do this.
Do it without coffee.
Okay, so reading through the pages in this file, you read that regarding the murders, that both of the bodies were discovered in the downstairs drawing room of the house, access to which was by the hall door, which, despite being unlocked, had been smashed completely off its hinges. Herbert Roby's body showed a gaping stab wound above the left collarbone and was completely drained of blood. Georgina Roby had been killed by 2 slicing wounds, one to the front torso and the other to the neck and head. One was a left-handed blow and the other right-handed, possibly by a heavy-bladed instrument. The wounds on both bodies indicate the attacker was extremely strong, and the forensic surgeon believed that 2 different weapons had been used on the 2 victims. No murder weapons were found at the scene. The glass balcony door into Alexander Roby's upstairs room had also been broken from the outside. Alexander claimed he had been there all evening and would not say how the door had been broken, but he claimed responsibility for the murders. But he was taken into custody, and it was basically discounted because because of the nature of the wounds and the timing. Basically, there was no way he could have done it.
Is there a copy of his statement there? Because speaking as a master of the English language, there's a difference between saying I did it and I'm responsible for it.
Yes. So, yeah.
Is there any
what
evidence
says.
of what happened to the blood?
No.
What happened to the blood that were drained from him?
So he wasn't in a pool of blood.
No,
the blood
there's
had gone.
there's no blood. There was barely any blood. So there is still no official suspect.
What about the daughter? Was she in a pool of blood though? It was just the father that was.
Yeah.
If this had been like a normal family, he'd have been swinging from a rope. They'd have just fitted him up.
Nobody's ever been charged. No murder weapons found.
No.
Is it still an open case?
It is an open case, but there's no suspects, and the investigation has been just
cold case.
Does it mention any of them interviewing his friends?
No.
Well, they've done a bit of a shit job then, haven't they?
I think we do need to talk to him about why he thinks he was responsible.
To find out who his friends are.
If he was in his room and somebody broke his door down from the outside, while he was in it, then
heavy sleeper.
Maybe. Maybe his friends just came round to see if he was coming out to play.
Yeah, there are no physical evidence linking Alexander to the crime.
No theft or nothing stolen.
No. There was no physical evidence that could link Alexander to the crime. his his personality, his like history and everything. There was nothing. There was nothing to suggest that Alexander were involved at all, responsible for was the culprit.
So did they think it happened? What time of day would it have happened if the
It was evening, I believe.
But he was in his bedroom. They were in the hall, well, downstairs.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else of interest going through the notes.
No. There's it's like I say, it's quite thin. There's very little to go on.
Were they both in the same room? Did you say
Yeah.
They're
both in the same room.
Certainly a rum do.
Where were the servants? Did we say where the servants were?
So they weren't. So there were staff in the house.
I've solved it. The butler did it.
But no, there were no witnesses.
Well, this has been a waste of time, hasn't it? Apart from what Gerald said about the wording. Yeah.
But we need to talk to him about it.
Yeah, I think you bang on with that. So, do we need to ask this sergeant anything?
I think it was somebody he knew that did it, and he doesn't want to rat on him. Maybe he was involved in some shady stuff.
But wouldn't he want revenge? If he's guilty.
Or somebody's got something on him.
So that nurse is kind of worrying, isn't it?
So other thing, so there were like 4 domestic staff employed at the Roby residence at the time of the murders.
But the nurse wouldn't, if he was really dodgy, he wouldn't still be there, would he? He'd have gone. Unless he was being paid to do something to. He wouldn't still be there, would he?
So, according to police reports, interviews with the staff, all doors and windows were secured from the inside, as was the custom of the house. As Mr. Roby, Herbert Roby, was very particular about it, as he was concerned about burglaries. There were of the domestics that were present. There was the butler George Lowell, the valet Peter Dodd, the cook Mrs. Edna Vetch, and the housemaid Louise West. All were together in a downstairs parlour when they heard a disturbance upstairs. That must have been the incident.
Something you can tell us. Doctor Highsmith gave us the address of the doctor and the brother.
Yeah.
Does the brother live at the house where the murders happened?
No.
He doesn't. So when the detective comes back, or the sergeant comes back, does he know? Did the family still own that property, or was it sold?
So he's not certain. He believes the property is empty. He thinks whether it's been sold or not, but it's certainly not. Nobody living there.
Well, guys, we'll go and break in tonight.
Yeah.
So, of course, like it also says, both bodies were discovered in the dining room, which lies off the entrance hall on the ground floor. Mr. Lowell, the butler, and Miss West, the housemaid, both reported hearing a shrill whistle coming from within the house about 5 minutes before the disturbance upstairs.
Inside the house.
Yeah.
So the disturbance upstairs was the smashing of his window.
Well, no, the disturbance in the
in one of the
driveway.
doors, and
Whether it was yeah. So, but well, either one or both. Yeah. So where the murders were. Yeah. So the sound of a disturbance upstairs. So yeah, possibly happened at the same time.
A
Why-
shrill whistle.
did the police determine that Alexander couldn't possibly have been guilty, even though he confessed to it?
Because of his public, his personality profile, the actual strength involved, the fact there were no weapons, there was no blood, there were just no physical evidence, or no, there psychologically no, physically and psychologically incapable of doing it.
Right.
And aside from the fact there were no evidence linking him to it, and the bodies were discovered almost immediately.
Probably need to ask him about whether he can whistle.
Would you like to whistle?
Was it somebody whistling, or was it like a tin whistle?
He just says a shrill whistle.
Somebody playing the recorder badly.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, just quickly on that, guys, while we're debating that, I need to shoot.
Very well.
That's a good place
I
to.
think we're about done here, aren't we?
Uh,
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to talk to Alexander, don't we?
Should we go
we
and
need
break
to
into
make
the
a
house?
visit to.
Oh yeah, I suppose
We need to
could.
break
Mind
into
you,
the
2
house.
years
I'll
later.
ballet my way in past the security.
Let's go and burn an empty house down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Burn that down, and then burn an asylum down once we've spoke to him.
yeah.
Oh, you got to do that. Yeah, that's a given, isn't it? And then,
Yeah,
I mean,
then the
it'd be good not-
doctor and then his brother. Just
yeah.
trail the fires. So yeah,
I
we've
think
got.
we've certainly got some questions, haven't we?
We could go and look in this empty house, and then there's a possibility of maybe seeing the doctor before we go off to the asylum.
Mm,
So fun and games.
yeah.
Mm,
I enjoyed that.
indeed.
Had a
Yeah.
chuckle.
That were a good session.
Cool.